Hi, and welcome to another free.volous episode. It's a gloomy afternoon and there's a leaf blower outside and the world is imploding. So I chose to dissociate, sit down in front of my camera and talk about makeup so that I don't cry. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Solange. I'm a 45-year-old actress from Lisbon, Portugal, and I basically like beauty stuff, so that's why we're here. And this video was requested quite a good while ago, but I kid you not, every time I sat down, not even sat down to film, I filmed, and when I sat down to edit each iteration of this video, Lisa announced a new release. So this time I'm shutting down my internet and just get this done as is. This is the lineup for this moment in time in my collection. And I basically am going to rank every beauty product that I have from the Lisa Eldridge line, which, disclaimer, I have one of each product at least, except for her eyeliner, because my lids sag and I can't do wing eyeliner anymore for many years now. I don't have Botox, so yeah, that's what happens. Gravity, because I'm alive and I'm happy with that. Basically, when it comes to Lisa Eldridge, because I have a huge collection of her products, I may come across as a fangirl. I really admire Lisa Eldridge. I've been watching her videos basically ever since she started YouTubing. And I really love that she wasn't afraid to share her techniques when it wasn't, when it was frowned upon at the time. It was very frowned upon for makeup artists to spill the beans. And she did revolutionize loads of ways that I do my makeup, still to this day. And that's amazing, and I'm very grateful for it. And I've been following her career with much interest whenever she came out with stuff with No. 7. I still have the lip liner from No. 7 that she came out with many years ago. I have it as memorabilia. I don't use it anymore. And I had for many years the Cushion foundation from Lancome, sadly discontinued, ahead of its time, was it not? And Juicy Shakers, do you remember the Juicy Shakers, the oil lip tints? Yeah, they're on brand now. So I've always liked the way she saw and approached makeup and how she translated that into the products that she ended up developing. I think of her with the same respect as I think of Danessa Myricks. Some of their products may not work for me, but I see what you're doing and I respect the way you're just shoving your vision into a formula. That's really nice. The thing that comes across Lisa Eldridge for me, and I think it's across the whole range of her products that I've tried, is that A, they're very fuss-free, they're very user-friendly, even for people who are beginners. These are very easy to work with products. They're not very pigmented, they don't need lots of blending, and they don't get patchy, and it's hard to overdo them, you know, that kind of stuff. They're very easy to work with. Her eye for color is an incredible blessing to the world, at least for me. I love that kind of stuff. And she comes out with beautiful colors with her lipsticks, her eye products, everything has beautiful colors and a different richness and some very interesting undertones that you don't see, you can't dupe. That's the main reason I'd say that makes me tell people who are very interested in color and some different things to look out for some Lisa Eldridge stuff. And yeah, those are mainly the two things that I think that are very prevalent within her body of work, let's say, that I do commend her for. That being said, some of the products don't work for me, and I'm ranking them today, and I'm going to talk about why they don't work for me. There'll be 3 sections, let's say. I'm going to talk about the absolute no's, they're fine, they're delightful, but, and then top 5. So that's my division. So you can see there's a big chunky middle of they're delightful but, and I'll explain the buts for each product. Let's start with something that I didn't mention on my ranking, on the levels of the ranking, which is discontinued. This is the Enlivening blush. They came out after the lipsticks, maybe after the highlighter, I think along that time. So they were very early on within her collection, and I really love them. Really love them. But the problem with these was there was a mismatch between the formula and the delivery system and the packaging. So this formula is a thick, moussey cream. Fouille. Can you do you know fouille? These things? Yeah, this kind of texture, but in a tube. And of course, when you squeeze the tube, product started to burst out from the weakest area, which was the bottom. And that happened to me, and it happened to loads of people. They ended up removing this from the line. We're still waiting for Lisa Eldridge blushes, new blushes. But let me tell you, her lipsticks, especially the velvets, make such beautiful blushes that, you know, it will be a bit redundant unless she does something re-innovative with the line. But these were kind of blurring, matte, but you could mix these with the highlighter to create more luminous finish. Glorious color story. Yeah, I love these. Sadly, these were problematic in terms of functionality. Now let's talk about the products that did not at all work for me, and I struggle to give a great or give you lots of pros on, or I struggle with the fact that the cons really outweigh the pros objectively for me. So it's difficult for me to say these are great, but these are not great for me. And I haven't had loads of problems with Lisa Eldridge products except for these. The first thing is the eyeshadows, the powder eyeshadows. I've done reviews on most of these products whenever I got them in a timely fashion, which doesn't always happen. I have a full video on these. These do not work for me. Again, pros, application, absolutely stunning, especially the mattes. How could she make something that blends itself out so beautifully? They almost behave like a velvety cream, almost. And you can still build them up to a point. These are not meant to be highly opacity indie shadows, not in that kind of sense. But these behave so beautifully when applying. But then those both mattes and the shimmers are very nice. Again, if I want something very impactful, be it as a topper, a translucent topper, or something that is a very opaque but very impactful shimmer, I prefer indie shadows. But within the concept of these that are more subtle, everyday washes of color with a hint of sheen, you know, that kind of stuff, these are brilliant upon application. But, the big but is that these do not last on me for over a couple of hours. And yes, I've tried with primer, without primer, sticky, set, ta-da. Yes, a tacky base or a bit of a base color with them will prolong the wear, but that defeats the purpose of being able to use these on a very quick apply and go out the door way, in my opinion. So I love the fact that you can pop them out. You supposedly can refill the pan or buy other colors and zhuzh your and customize your palette. Another con I would say is that most of the times several of her, I think, best-selling eyeshadows are sold out. But yeah, aside from that, this doesn't work. These don't work for me. These disappear literally. Sometimes not even a crease of product is left. There's nothing there. And I don't know. There's no other eyeshadow that I own from any other brand that does this, just disappearing. I know this works for plenty of people, and I'm happy, so happy for you. trust me, whenever I buy something, I want to have my money's worth and I want to be able to go back to them. And these have a nice packaging. These feel a bit more substantial. It feels nice to have them, but then, you know, not my cup of tea, to be honest. Never, they don't like me. That's my conclusion. They don't like me. The other thing that doesn't like me is the Seamless Glide Eye Pencil. This for me doesn't do what it says on the tin, which is, Lisa says, you have enough time to work with it, to blend it out. These glide like a dream, like a fresh pot of gel cream eyeshadow, gel cream eyeliner. That's how they work. Amazing, but in a pencil form, super practical. Yes. But then she says you have loads of time to work with them, but they eventually set. On me, these do not set. They can, they stay the whole day, smudging, pulling on the outer corners of my eyes, transferring all over my eyes. I can't make them work on my inner rims because, again, they end up pulling on the corners of my eyes. I have a couple of videos. I don't know the order in which I will post these, but I have a couple of videos where I have a huge pool of eyeliner on the outer corner of my eyes. It was me trying to make these work, trying different techniques, and nothing works. Nothing works with these. And it's a shame because this shade, which is something burnt umber, makes my brown eyes look lighter but still brown. It's such a beautiful shade, and yet you need to set this with something on top. With my oily lids, I need to set this with something, and still after a couple of hours it starts to just melt again. Not the easiest. So these are the two products that I was not satisfied with, let's say. From here on in, I was satisfied, but let's go to the products with a caveat, okay? The first one with a caveat is the Balm Embrace. Again, I have a video on these. Very nice, slightly glossy balms with a nice tint. Amazing, beautiful color selection as usual for Lisa Eldridge. The big caveat on these, and yeah, it comes with the problem of being a clean beauty brand, which is problematic because they are living in a self-fed universe of not misinformation, disinformation. And it's very, very hard to step out of that. And because of that, they try to put a natural aroma. Aroma is, in Portuguese, something that has a smell that stimulates your taste buds. So it's a flavor with a smell, and those two things are connected. Let's not get into it. But the natural aroma, which is vanilla-y, which is very pleasant to the nose, coats my throat so intensely, and it feels so uncomfortable. I can still wear them, and I do, especially Metropolis. It's such a beautiful color for every day. But it's not something that I would jump on and say, just get it. And also, I prefer something a bit balmier, a bit thicker, with a bit more grip on the lips. It doesn't mean that this doesn't have it. It just means that I have other products that have more of the type of grip that I like on the lips and are a bit glossier. In terms of colors, these are pretty unique though. Next up, something Lucent. I don't know the name of these from the top of my head. Luxuriously Lucent, could it be? Am I that Lisa Eldridge versed? But it's basically the satin lipsticks. Which are these? These are slightly satiny. These are mediumly pigmented. They're not super pigmented, not super opaque, but they still have a bit of pigment. I like the formula, again, quite on the thinner side. It doesn't feel thick or balmy or, I don't know, hefty on the lips. It feels very thin. And I think it's because of that, because I have lined lips, these don't look the best on me. They do have a very smooth and even color application. They don't look patchy on the lips. They don't fall into the cracks of the lips, but they don't kind of smooth over the lines of my lips. The lines on my lips stay quite visible, and sometimes, depending on the color, they look even more visible. So yeah, not my favorite lip, satin lip kind of product. Next up, I love this, but this is a gloss, a tinted lip gloss. It's the Gloss Embrace, I think. Beautiful color range. I will not forgive you, Lisa, if you're watching this, for discontinuing Songbird, which was the most beautiful nudie pink. What's up with that? Wasn't it a bestseller? I thought everybody would buy one of those. Far more easy. The lighter glosses are easier to wear than, you know, the bold, deeper color glosses, which have their place. But I would say Songbird would be one of the best sellers. It seems like not, because she discontinued it. But anyway, beautiful. These, I think, are a bit of a hybrid between a lip oil and a lip gloss. These are very, again, thin on the lips. They don't move around, they don't slip and slide outside of your lip border, but they do feel less thick. But they do leave a bit of a hydrating, moisturized, emollient residue on the lips. They do feel very nurturing to the lips. Super pleasant, tinted. As I said, they go from very light nudie tints to very impactful, almost opaque colors. It is a tinted lip gloss. So I love this formula. I think they're very, and I think for somebody who doesn't have lots of money to spend on a luxury product, but they still want something that they can wear every day, going for one of these glosses, it's a great idea. But again, it's a gloss. It's a thin, very comfortable, lip nourishing tinted lip gloss. So didn't bring anything that innovative to the table, although the nourishing ingredients on this, they do have longevity. So they stay on after they wore off. Credit to that. The other product is the Shape and what? Sculpt and Shape lip pencils. These are fairly new. I like them very much. The color range was missing from the Lisa Eldridge lip liners, the previous lip liners that she had on her collection. This type of color range, more nudie colors for everyday, and especially greigey and cool undertoned colors for the lip liner that aren't pink. These were lacking in her range. Do I think, but this is a matter of personal preference, I absolutely know that. Do I think this formula brings anything new to the table? No, at all. This formula doesn't set on the lips practically at all. It stays as is. So as soon as you touch it, it just disappears. It stays just very slightly. So it's a very nice lip liner. The colors are incredible. If you're up for a luxury version of the color stories of NYX, for instance, the classic lip liners, not the other ones. Which one? What are you? What's your name? Where are you? The line, not talking about the liners, the classic ones, the black ones. These, if you want a luxury version of those lip liners, these are it, basically. So you get my gist. Another one, the Pinpoint Concealer. Did a video on it very recently. Love it. Have a use for it. Don't regret buying it. The price is outrageous for the amount of product that you get. And because of that, there's a very specific type of person, I think, that would benefit from it, but won't go bankrupt when solely relying on this for concealing, if that makes sense. Because it will be somebody who wears light, medium coverage and has just a few stubborn things to conceal every day. And this would be perfect for them, and this would last them, I don't know, about a year if it doesn't dry out in the inside. I don't know how about that. But other than that, if you have lots of problematic areas like I do, things constantly happening on your skin like I do, this can, if this is your only method of concealing, this will be will become very expensive. It does what it says on the tin. It was a very smart way of making convenient a technique that is her absolute brand, which is pinpoint concealing. This makes full sense in her collection. It's just the price is intense. If you have more than a couple of things to conceal on the daily. And because this is a clean beauty brand, you can't rely on the preservatives. So be very wary of the expiration dates. Problem, it rubbed off immediately when I started using this pencil. I think they're kind of adjusting the print on the packaging, but just letting you know, keep that in mind. But yeah, again, I don't regret using it, buying it. I love that I have it. I use it very frequently, but I'm aware of how much this costs and how that is a big, hefty downside. A product that, a bit like the lip liner, the previous lip liner, is something that does what it says on the tin and performs beautifully, is the Velveteen liquid lipsticks, which are not very talked about. They're very competent in doing what they do, which is creating a more long-wearing formula of the velvet colors for me, because they are a liquid lipstick. They're pretty comfortable when it comes to a liquid lipstick. They're not extremely drying. They don't emphasize the lip lines in that intense way that some liquid lipsticks can do. At the same time, it's a liquid lipstick. It's going to feel drying throughout the day. Don't get me wrong. They fade with dignity. They last a good amount of time, plenty of hours, even with it eating. They do fade on the inside rim of the lips, but you can reapply. At least I was able to reapply and it looked perfect the couple of times that I tried to do that. And yeah, these are very, very nice liquid lipsticks. Nothing bad to say about them, except it's a luxury brand. So that's, you know, the context of it all. It's going to be expensive. It's Lisa Eldridge. So it's part of the deal. Now these guys, I really like the refillable lipsticks that she came out with recently. I don't have the case. I can't afford the case. The case is basically another lipstick. So money that I could spend elsewhere. The formula is really nice. It sits somewhere between the satins that she makes and the velvets. So it has a bit more elasticity to them without being extremely sheeny. And these are great for everyday wear, in my opinion. I love the fact that she has refillable lipsticks. I think she should do the whole range of lipsticks in this format and stop doing this, because this has magnets, so it cannot be recycled. So if you go through her velvets very often, if you go through her satins very often, you can't recycle those, and it's a bit and then you come out with these, but these are a different formula, so Aside from that, really nice. I understand the addition. Most of the colors are everyday colors that are not extremely matte nor extremely satiny or sheeny. I understand. I just think that this should have been a cohesive brand release. I don't know how easy that would be. Maybe it's easy to come out with something new and then start to adapt the rest of the range to this format. I don't know. These are very nice. I have nothing bad to say about them. Although they show on the lips, on me, a bit matte, they don't look drying at all. They're very beautiful. This I really like. I know this is one of those that divides people. These are the, oh, sorry, I can't read. Enhance and Define lip pencils. These are her long wear lip pencils. They have a bit of a thicker type of formula. They are creamy. They glide on very well. They have more opaque colors because these match basically the first original Velvet releases, and then they set on the lips. And I love that on a lip liner. I think that should be its function, to stay. And then if something moves on the inside, at least I don't mean creating the mustache line. I mean, some people really like it and that's fine for them, but creating that very crisp mustachioed line, it will be weird if everything else wears off. But if you create a line and then you fade it into the inside of the lip and then you top in with, you know, lipstick or lip balm or whatever, that will look very nice and blended into the lips without looking, you know, weird throughout the day when everything else wears off. But these are beautiful, very long wearing, very competent formula. Again, are there other brands in the market that do this? Yes, there are. In the same price range, yes. Very more cheaply, yes. But this is still a very competent kind of product. I think she should update the colors. I think she kind of is letting these go. I don't even know if she removed them from the website. I'm just realizing that now. Does she still have these? I don't know. I'll update you. If they're not in the website, I'll put a little thing down below, and these will go with the blushes as discontinued. But yeah, I really love this formula. Have nothing bad to say about it. Next up, the foundation. Mine is really rubbed off. I've used this a ton. I have a video on it. It is really beautiful, really customizable in terms both of finish and coverage. You can thin it out, increase coverage to a point before it becomes very visible, of course, but you can still customize it. And the same with the finish. You can make it more matte, you can make it a bit more glowy. Really nice. Amazing shade range, which hats off to Lisa. It's hard to do with an indie brand that isn't funded by venture capital, which I think Lisa's isn't. And yeah, I love the Seamless Skin Foundation. I think that between its launch and now, other brands have caught on, and there are other brands that do this kind of formula very well. The thing that I'd have to say as a downside for my skin type, and I know it's a very specific skin type in a very specific weather, which is humid even in the winter time and very hot most of the year, is that these products, although they say they are self-setting, this foundation, although it says it's self-setting, and it is at first, once my oils start to break through, it starts to transfer quite a bit. It's not that you touch and it completely comes off and you have a finger marked on your face, thankfully, but it still does transfer and feels a bit more creamy to the touch. I have to blot and reapply powder throughout the day on warmer times, so that you know. Next up, the Liquid Lurex. I love this formula specifically for the darker shades. So the brownier shades, that she has a black gunmetal-y color. Love these. The lighter shades, I don't know if it's from having them for quite a while already or because my tastes in makeup have changed or just the formula has changed. They feel a bit more dull than what I like to see, and they're quite pigmented, so they don't give you that kind of topper effect. They always look quite opaque on the lids, but especially the darker shades of the Liquid Lurex, absolutely love them. Incredible, as you can formulate something so supposedly easy like a powder eyeshadow. So off for me. And then the Liquid Lurex, which is liquid eyeshadow, which is, I believe, harder to make. These are top notch. They apply very easily, easy to blend, easy to build up on the eyes to create opacity, and they last beautifully. They don't flake, they don't smudge, they stay put. That's what I wanted from other products in the line, and these achieved it. Now, top 5, my friends. On top 5, I have lipsticks. the velvets. I had to talk about the velvets. This is Velvet Duchess, which is one of my most used colors from her. And the other color that is one of my most used, I will not forgive Lisa for this, is Velvet Decade, which has been discontinued. Decade and Midnight were some of the most unique colors in the range. I love the sort of different iterations on reds that she's come out with throughout the times, but you know, Decade and Midnight were sort of special on their own. I'm wearing Decade today, if you're wondering. I love these cooler toned colors that it just, these are not made that often, and I love these, and I'm so sad she discontinued it, and I'm so sad that I'm gonna have to save this and then stop using it. But anyway, Velvet Decade, one of my favorites. I love the velvets. These are matte lipsticks that glide very well. They have different amounts of opacity, but you can build them. And some of them, the darkest ones, bolder ones, just off the bat, full opacity. So very easy to apply. They glide so well. They don't kind of tug at your lips. Beautiful. And then they have a velvety kind of effect on your lips. They can look a bit drier throughout the day if you reapply, but that's something that happens, at least to me, with any matte lipstick, so nothing off the charts. It's a very comfortable matte kind of formula that isn't overly silicone-y. You can still find this kind of effect visually, but these feel a bit more special, a bit more creamy than most lipsticks that can achieve this, but feel a bit more silicone-y. Again, there's nothing wrong with either one. It's just a matter of preference. I think she did a wonderful job with these. And sneaking in, Skyscraper Rose was one of the insanely saturated lipsticks, beautiful magenta. And I didn't notice much of a difference between the insanely saturated lipsticks and the velvets, to be honest, in terms of performance and the look on the lips. It would be on my top 5, which would make it my top 6, if that makes sense. Next up, I can't believe I'm putting this on my top 5, top 6, whatever. This is her mascara, the Kitten Lash mascara. Listen, I don't know what to tell you. I'm as surprised as you are, but as I was laying this on my table and moving around this in order, it's kind of like, no, but this is better. I like this more. And I wear this almost every single day. I have other mascaras that I absolutely adore. Tower 28 Make Waves and e.l.f. Lash Extender. As you can see, they're not exorbitant price, especially the e.l.f. one. But this one deserves to be in my top 3 mascaras. It's not like it's kicking anything out. It's better in some ways. It's not as good in others, but this is an amazing mascara. First of all, this does not claim to be tubing or to be waterproof in any way, but it lasts the whole day on my lashes. It doesn't smudge. It doesn't flake. It looks just beautiful. And then I personally love the look that it gives to my lashes, which is this kind of slightly fluttery but not oversaturated. I like my lashes to look full, as if I had more lashes, not that I have big clumps of lashes clumped together. I don't like that look, except for special occasions. So for every day, I wish I had more lashes and they were darker. And that's what this does. Fluttery, bushy brows, you know? And this does that without smudging, without flaking, without moving out of my face. And I have to say, although I've been talking about being aware of clean beauty brands, which you should, this is the same tube that I bought when it was first released, and I still have it. And, you know, it has those couple of first uses where the formula starts to stabilize when in contact to air, and then it plateaus. And then for most formulas, after a few months, they start to dry out, which for me is nice, and then they stop working at all, they start flaking all over your face, they're done. That's kind of an usual progression of a mascara. For me, this mascara improved a little bit after the few first uses, as usual, And then it just plateaued. And it stayed like this for basically a year. I don't know what to tell you. This is now starting to feel a bit drier than about a month ago. And from that month till a few weeks after I bought it, that's how it stayed. It's incredible. It's incredible. The performance of this formula is super reliable, if you want to say that. And I could not kick it out of my top 5 as hard as I tried, because it's just mascara. No, this is a really beautiful formula. Never thought I'd say this. Will I repurchase it soon? I don't know. I love my lash extender from e.l.f. It has the problem of needing to dry a little bit when you buy it, so I'm letting it to steep for a bit, but I have it going, and I still have a Tower 28 mascara to go back up, but I will go back to this. More than 80% sure of that. So there you go. Another exquisite product from my top 5 is the Liquid Silk liquid eyeshadows. These are phenomenal, my friends. Nobody is talking a lot about these, and I don't know why. Maybe it's not working for everybody the same way as it is for me. But these for me are incredible. Again, liquid eyeshadows, not the easiest to make. Some of them come out goopy, some of them come out patchy, hard to blend, too watery or too thick or whatever. This is just Goldilocks formula of a liquid eyeshadow. It applies easily. You do a couple of dots on your eyes and then you go in with a brush, and it's so easy to blend, but you can build it up very easily to full opacity. It's incredible that it's capable of doing it so easily. I think we need a full shade range of this formula. It works beautifully on its own and as a base for something else. And it doesn't crease on my very oily eyes. So again, how can you do that with this and you couldn't that with that? I don't know. But anyway, let's not talk about traumas. Let's talk about how wonderful this formula is. It only comes in about 5 neutrally nudie shades. I think this needs a huge expansion, and I think Lisa needs to ride the matte monochromatic eye look and play and make it like, you know, a painter's tray where you mix colors and do different things, because this is up there with my color fixes from Danessa Myricks, which are more creamier formula, I'd say. These are wonderful, wonderful. Can't stop using them. When I'm going for a nudie look, usually I go for these. You knew this was coming. It's the skin tint. You knew this was coming. I really love this product. It is a very light coverage product. You can still build it up. And it's incredible how seamless it is on the skin. It absolutely looks like your skin. It never looks like there's something lying on top of your skin and making it look weird or patchy or whatever. It's an incredible formula. For a skin tint, in terms of longevity, it's really good. Of course, because I have actual stuff on my face that I can see through, I can more easily assess when things are rubbing off. And this will last me, on a not hot day, about 8 hours. Looking pretty okay with just a few blemishes where I touch my face showing through. If it's very hot, again, it may transfer, it may start to feel a bit sticky and stuff like that. So give it a bit of a pinch of salt. If you are very oily, keep that in mind. But for everybody else, shade range is pretty good. I think she should come out with a few more, but that's just me, because I have a very particular undertone that is a light yellow, greeny yellow, which is something that isn't easy to reproduce, but I'm just being selfish. But yeah, I think this is a wonderful product that even I usually prefer medium coverage foundations that I can shade down. This was the first skin tint that I was okay, this is an actual skin tint, because something like the Yummy Skin Tint from Danessa Myricks, for me, this is a foundation, an actual skin tint that actually does something for my skin, and it looks incredible on the skin. Beautiful product. Again, the only caveat is the longevity and becoming a bit emollient to the touch throughout the day for oily skins. Now, my favorite product from Lisa Eldridge, and I've used this up and I saved it. This was today. Today was its last day, because it's been a while since I've had it. It's the Elevated Glow Highlighter. I know, I'm not doing what most people would do, which would be putting the velvets on top, or even the skin tint. For me, my favorite product from Lisa Eldridge is this, the Elevated Glow Highlighter. Is it Elevate? Yeah. This is incredible in all the perspectives through which you can look at this product. It is a beautiful, high-performance liquid highlighter. It looks like glowy, creamy skin. It doesn't look metallic or glittery at all. It is a cream, a liquid, kind of a gel serum kind of texture. If you can see, it does come in several shades, and it blends incredibly easily, especially if you use a lightweight brush that has a bit of a bend to it. It blends seamlessly into the skin. It doesn't enhance, at least I don't think, it doesn't enhance any kind of texture. You can use it before your foundation, which I usually do, and then I go over, before I do any powders, I go over this with this and just reapply a little bit to bring back a bit of the sheen. It always looks creamy and beautiful and gorgeous, but it sets to the touch, which, as somebody with oily skin, I appreciate so much. It doesn't feel drying, it just sets to the touch. It's a beautiful product, and this mixed with any cream blush, or even with her, especially the velvet lipsticks, this creates beautiful glowy blushes that have good longevity, because the velvet lipsticks do have great longevity, but that look glowy because of this. This supposedly has a kind of a tightening effect on the under eye area, which is on your skin, but especially when used on this area here, which I appreciate because I have these here and I don't forget to laugh throughout the day, but I can't say I notice a big difference, and I do have, you know, this. But the fact is, when I relax my face, there is not the imprint of my wrinkles left behind, you know? So maybe it's this product and I'm just realizing it right now. I don't know, but this absolute favorite. From everything that I talked about today, I would just not recommend the eyeshadows and the pencil eyeliner. To be honest, everything else I think has a place. It depends on people's preferences, but my top 5, unless you have very dry lips, for the lipsticks, for the velvets, which I can appreciate, everything else I think could fit everybody, and you will have an elevated experience that matches the price, if that makes sense. And that was the video. This was the ranking. These were my opinions on this day of 2025 about the products from Lisa Eldridge that I own. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, leave me a like. If you want to share your different opinions and your thoughts, use the comments down below. And if you haven't already and you want to hang out more, just subscribe. As usual, thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!